Well, hello, hello. Welcome. I'm Laura Torres with Blue Star Careers. Thank you for joining us for once again for this live webinar. We're here, and actually, I'm super excited to tell you guys we're 2022 wrapping up, and we're coming down to obviously to thinking about what are some of those best practices, where were our job opportunities, what are some of those best employer partners that we can all and seek, where are some of those career opportunities for military spouses and military families in general. So I'm very excited to wrap up and tell you all about what's happening with our community, what's happening with our current partner, actually wrapping up 2022 with one of our most incredible partners that we have had so far in this 2022, community supporters, and of course rank on LinkedIn as top companies in technology and information to work for. So if you are looking for a new career, pivoting, or just simply trying to find where you can actually call your forever, happily ever after home, on LinkedIn, they have over 90,000 employers that can actually be mentors, supporters, and give you a hand. And so I'm talking about T-Mobile. So here at Blue Star Careers, we're on a mission to contribute to support Team Magenta to reach their 10,000 members who are looking to just support you and they're looking really to include military spouses and meaningful career opportunities. But anyway, without further ado, let's just get started and bring up all these incredible partners and let you all meet them. Team Magenta in the house. Please tell us, share with us where you're watching, where you are supporting, and we'd love to be able to send you a shout out towards the end. So let us know. Thank you. Well, hello, hello. Once again, thank you so much for being with us for this careers webinar. We have our incredible line of supporters, experts, and career mentors. I'm going to call them like that. Yes, I'm going to put them on the spot. Career mentors, because they're here to really drive us and tell us all about the best way for you to break it into a new career with T-Mobile. So let's welcome them all and allow them to give us a quick, short introduction of themselves and a little bit of their journey through T-Mobile and how they got here and then making Team Magenta really light up for our military spouse community. So team, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us.
Welcome, welcome. Go ahead. Tell us all about you, Ms. Lacey Craig.
I am Lacey Craig. I'm a senior program manager on the military and diversity recruiting team here at T-Mobile. And I've been on Team Magenta for almost a year now, but I come from field operations. And I'm a proud military child of a 35-year serving veteran.
Thank you so much. And then we'll go with Mr. Luis Leon. Welcome. Hola. Buenos dias.
Hello. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. My name is Luis Leon. I am a virtual retail coach, but also HR military and diversity recruiting program manager here at T-Mobile. Really excited to be here. I've been with the company for almost 7 years, and I also started as a mobile expert.
7 years. Wow. Congratulations. Thank you. And Ms. Tierney, welcome. And Ms. Tierney Brand is our military ally, and there she is. Thank you so much.
I'm having some issues.
Yes, go ahead. Tell us about you and your T-Mobile journey.
I'm a program manager on the military and diversity. We've been with T-Mobile. I started in the kiosk in a mall as a long ago. It's really happy to be.
Thank you so much, Tierney. And yes, Tierney is having some connection issues, so not a problem. We'll still have her here to join us and tell us a little bit more about more questions and directly on how she supports our military community through her specific role. And then, of course, we have Chris Jackson, Marine Corps veteran. Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Jackson. I'm a partnership manager of military and diversity recruiting programs, and I just celebrated 10 years with T-Mobile. I started out on the retail side as a part-time seasonal employee, and now I found myself on this wonderful team supporting our military community.
Wonderful, thank you. And then once again, I want to send a shout out and all of you who are watching. I see we have quite a bit of individuals here on our LinkedIn as well as our Facebook page, and then across our Blue Star Families channels, and to include our Spouse First community. So if you're in our Spouse First community, please send us. We'd love to send you a shout out. Please tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to be able to show T-Mobile that they can actually design and get jobs all the way from Alaska to Hawaii, all the way to the Florida Peninsula. And we're going to put them on the spot to make sure that we get to work all together and we find and identify portable, meaningful career opportunities for our military spouse community. No pressure, right? But definitely we're doing our best to connect you and connect military spouse community members to meaningful career opportunities. So team, tell us a little bit further more about why T-Mobile could be our employer of choice as we embark into 2023. Who will take that?
I can take that. So I think that, we'll cover in this presentation a lot about the specific benefits and opportunities that we have, but we are fully committed to providing an environment where military spouses and veterans can thrive and have an opportunity to get portable careers with us. So whether you're stationed at Camp Pendleton, you PCS, and need to take that job with you, we're here as a band, not just about a careers perspective, also inclusion. So we'll jump into this also, but we have a really cool and extensive employee resource group that really helps support mentoring, onboarding for our veterans and spouses. So we're really excited to share that with you guys, but we're continuing to grow. T-Mobile has great opportunity with just the roles that we have going into 2023 also.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And I do have here our presentation that we are going to go really briefly with our community members to show you really how proudly we're serving military families. And our team is going to lead us with this. But once again, I want to encourage you to post your questions and share your comments and where you're watching. What are some of those career trajectories that you yourself, military spouses and service members, are looking to enter and find your next transition? So team, who's going to lead us here?
I'll go ahead and kick us off. So thank you guys for joining us to learn a little bit more about our careers, benefits, and some of the programs that we have. We're going to share some of our career opportunities, a little bit about the company, and then how to really prepare for those interviews when you get them for T-Mobile for the roles that you're going to apply to. Next. I wanted to highlight some of our really great benefits that we offer for the company. Our health benefits are amazing. I know I have them for me and my family, and I don't have to worry about the cost of medical, dental, vision. We have really great benefits with healthcare, discounts. It was a huge win for me getting 75% of my phone bill when I started here because I was already a T-Mobile customer. Who doesn't want to save a couple $100s a month on their phone bills? So that's a huge discount. In addition, if you're a T-Mobile customer already, you get T-Mobile Tuesdays, but also as an employee, you get some other discounts and perks that we have. Ongoing education is really huge. You don't have to worry about paying for your own bachelor's or master's degree. I just started the master's program at University of Arizona 3 weeks ago, and T-Mobile is paying for that for me 100%. So it's really cool that we offer these continued education benefits for you to take advantage of, whether you're working part-time or full-time with us. We also offer really great benefit with time off. So everyone loves to have time off with their families or to go on those vacations. It's even better when your employer pays for it for you and allows you that time and not having to worry about it. I know Chris on this call just relocated, was able to take some time off to do that. And, that's really cool that a company supports you to be able to do that and, not having to worry about work at the same time. We also have great benefits with child care services and fertility services that we have as part of our total benefits plan, as well as investing in 401k, stock options. You also are granted stock as an employee at T-Mobile. So those are just some of the main benefits that we offer as a company. There's so many more that you can check out on our careers page also. Next slide. I think it's also important to mention some of the acknowledgement and awards that we've received as an organization, not just in the military space, but also in the diversity space. I think it's important for people to know that a company is acknowledged for the efforts and the investment that they've made inside the community. And one that we didn't add on that we just received is we just received the Hiring Our Heroes Military Spouse Employment and Mentoring Award for 2022. That was a huge honor and the first time we've received that award for our hiring and engagement opportunities and efforts with the military community. Next slide.
Great.
And we also want to shout out our employee resource group. So we have our Veterans and Allies Network, which is made up of about 12,000 veterans, military spouses, and allies. It's an employee-run support group where you're able to come to for any kind of support you may need, whether it's finding just a friend or a shoulder to lean on to talk about some of the day-to-day life, or finding a mentor, or looking for connections in other departments to maybe advance your career in a different field. This is one of 10 ERGs that we have where we invite you to come and be you with us. Next
Wonderful.
slide.
That's, yeah.
One of the roles that I would like to highlight for everybody is within our consumer space. So I support the consumer market, and we have almost 7,000 stores across the country that we are offering roles and opportunity for. What I want to debunk the myth about working in retail. I've worked in retail for almost 15 years, and T-Mobile is not the standard retail operator. We have a 90% internal promotion rate from our retail stores. So you're really looking to get in with an organization that you can learn, that you can grow with. You don't have to be a tech expert to work in one of our stores. I know I hear a lot, well, I don't know how to do this on my phone. Well, I have an 18-year-old daughter who manages my phone most of the time. So I think it just is a testament to you don't have to be a tech expert. We will teach you that. We have an extensive training program that once you land in the stores, we take the time to take you through that training program so you're fully prepared to go to your role. But then once you're in the store working, you don't just get handed off to the public. We do make sure that you have a mentor, that you have a coach that's there to support you in your journey. And so really we're looking for people that are passionate, looking to work with people, working with customers that, we can really deliver the best service and support to for what they're looking for with not just their cell service, but their internet, accessories, their technology devices. We have so many things. I mean, we have devices for your car, for your tracking your dogs. I mean, you name it, we have it. So really, you're the expert once you get enrolled to engage customers with all of the opportunities and products that we have.
And if I may add, Lindsay, I mean, this is precisely why I love our partnership, is because you have endless opportunities for a military spouse who's starting her career journey to enter the workforce and be able to travel through the multiple layers of expertise that you guys offer.
With flexible work schedules. I forgot to say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess I will be next. So along with the retail opportunities that we have all over the country, we also have opportunity for our CECs or customer experience centers. So customer care. or we also call them associate experts, mobile experts. We're all the same. We're just experts in technology here. Like Lacey said, you don't have to be an expert, but we will make you an expert because our training is just it's an extend training, but it's also like I love when I was in training because I can ask all the questions. So our mobile experts or customer care, they start at $20 per hour, and they also have bonuses potential. So they always really like working in a CEC is like a lot of fun. We have a lot of potential incentives that we can earn as a team and as individuals. And normally, what you would do, you don't when you think of a customer care, you probably think of, oh, working in a call center is not, or I think we just totally different with what you have on mind. We have like in here, you can see I'm actually in a CEC. It's a really cool environment. We like to have fun. We like to support each other. We provide excellent customer service to our customers, and we recently got our 10th consecutive year of our JDP award for customer service. So what you will bring is just passion, problem solving, ability to balance your tasks and your objectives. And again, we're just looking for it doesn't matter where you're in your career. You can start in any level. We will have your training, and we are all over the country. So don't think it's just oh, that's not for me. I think we have a CEC near you. Just go into our website, and more excitement. We actually are open 9 more coming up. So, but again, there is opportunity everywhere.
Wonderful.
Awesome. And then we also have our T-Mobile for Business line of business. So, when we look at the retail store, when we look at customer care, those are great careers. Whether you have experience or not, you can easily step into those, and we train you up to those positions. When it comes to the account executive position, we do look for a little bit of experience in this. This is a B2B side. So if you have experience in B2B selling, if you are hungry, you're what we like to call a hunter, you enjoy making numerous phone calls where sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't, but you enjoy the thrill of the hunt of really going after businesses, and you refuse to take no for an answer. This is a great career path for you. You're going to be responsible for generating leads and referrals to help us close businesses with a lot of the different selling options that we have. You'll participate in sales meetings and proposals, and you'll have a funnel that will grow in your career with T-Mobile that you'll manage, whether it's an existing customer and taking care of any services that they may need for their business, or whether it's acquiring new business. And of course, you want to have great interpersonal skills and be an effective negotiator. People are going to ask for the moon and the stars. You want to be able to sell them the moon, but still provide what they're going to need for their business. The B2B side is a great opportunity. You have uncapped commission that you're able to make, and you enjoy all of the same benefits that Lacey talked about when she went over our benefit slide. And then for the back office, we have a variety of. So when we talk back office, we're talking corporate communications, HR, technology, digital finance, marketing, and legal. So anything that really doesn't fall under care, retail, and TFB. Our back of the house roles are constantly growing throughout the year. And these are great careers to look at for program managers, HR, business partners, again, finance, marketing, and legal. We can go to the next slide. And so now we're going to cover interviewing best practices. Sorry, I have something covering my screen.
I have a question for you, Chris, when we're done with this about why people have this stigma or are scared a little bit about sales or careers that have the word sales in it. Okay, so be thinking about that.
I can also help answer that because I'm in sales.
Perfect. We'll come back to that. So when preparing, it's always a great idea to do some basic research. You want to come into the interview know more about your company. Lacey kind of talked about how people think of T-Mobile and they always think of just retail sales. But when you do a little bit of that interview beforehand, you're able to see that, again, we have all those back of the house positions we talked about. We have our care side, we have our B2B side. So it's great to know all that a company offers to ensure that you're able to go for the career that you want. When looking at a department, do your due diligence and do the research. What's the responsibilities of the team? How many people are on it? Who will you be working with? Who will you be partnering with? These are great things to know to give you a whole picture of the role and what you're going to be going for. And then you want to prepare your questions. It's always great to have a few questions to ask about the role. We live in a time, corporate responsibility is a huge topic in the world, right? So ensuring that the company you're interviewing with, their corporate responsibilities align with your own vision, and ensure that you're working for a company that you'll be proud to work for. LinkedIn profiling. We live in an era where there's a lot of sourcing that are happening. Recruiters are reaching out to people versus historically where you as a job seeker had to reach out to the company. So having an up-to-date LinkedIn profile that accurately depicts your experience and what you're looking for is going to be a great way to get noticed. And of course, prepare your resume. Your resume should be tailored to each position that you apply for. If you theoretically were to apply to 5 different positions with T-Mobile, you would want to have essentially 5 different versions of your resume. If you apply to a program manager one, ensuring that that resume speaks to your experience as a program manager. If you apply to a role in legal, you'll have one that talks about your legal experience and so on. So these are just some great tips when you're preparing to interview for a role. Next slide.
Perfect. Those are great tips, Chris.
Absolutely. And then setting the tone. You definitely want to come in with a lot of energy. You always hear people talk about having a cup of coffee before an interview. Don't have two. You don't want to be jittery and shaky, but you do want to have that great energy. You want to show what you're going to bring to the team. Be prepared and be on time. For me, again, we talked about my history as a Marine. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So ensuring that you're on time, you're ready, because that first impression is their the first impression is just so important. You want to make sure you engage with your interview, let them know that you're happy to be interviewing for the role. If you can, maybe talk a little bit about yourself and again, why you're going to be a great fit. Let them know what excites you about the position, right? I'm so excited to come into this role as a program manager on the military and diversity recruiting team because I'm a veteran myself. Veteran unemployment, military spouse unemployment is so important to me. And that's why I know that I would make such an impact in this role. Let them know what you love about their company, right? I love that T-Mobile has this commitment to hire 10,000 veterans and military spouse. That is so important to me because T-Mobile recognizes it because I fit into that community. And then what you've learned in your current role that has prepared you for this next step. You want to have those ready to talk about so it's not you kind of fumbling around at the end of the interview talking about it, but maybe just have some cliff notes right on the side, right? This is what I did in my previous role, and this is why I know that I'll be successful in this role. Next slide. And then it's important to know your story. So in every interview, they're going to ask some variation of the question. Tell me about yourself. Go through your career highlights, your career history, or talk about the highlights from your previous role. So make sure that you're ready to discuss that, right? A lot of times being a great storyteller is so important, right? Tell me about a time where you had to complete a project that was difficult. What made it difficult? How did you overcome that? And what was the outcome? Being a great storyteller is so important. You could have the best example, but if you're not great at telling the story, it can really take away from the experience and that you've done. So you want to be sure that you can tell that. Talk about your long-term career aspirations. Companies love to hear in an interview, hey, I'm interviewing for this program manager position, but just know, I'll use my director, for instance, Sherry, I am coming for your job, right? I want to be in your shoes one day. Those are always great things to talk about, the longevity of your intentions with a company. And then what jobs you had. Maybe you want to touch on why you left if there was a great story. Hey, I've been with this company for 5 years. Unfortunately, the growth potential isn't just there. And I see myself again in your shoes one day. So I wanted to ensure that I'm working with a company that gives me the opportunity to grow professionally. It's always good to know your story, where you've been, where you are, and where you intend to go.
All right. And then we want to also just talk to you a little bit about knowing your strengths and also your opportunities. Normally, when you go to an interview, you might ask, "Hey, can you tell me your strengths and opportunities?" I think we're pretty good on calling out our strengths, but we need to do. We just want to make sure that we are set up for success. So, for an example, if people say, "Hey, yes, I'm a people person. I'm good with people." You want to really go deep and give an example, or why is it that you're good with people. So in general, your strength should be skills that can be supported through maybe experience. So for example, if you just list communications as an strength, then you might want to recall a situation in which when you use communication to reach out a goal or to resolve a problem. For a strengths, basically those are our weaknesses. You also don't want to be showing that you come with a lot of weaknesses, but you want to come, where your opportunities are, and you are aware that you're working towards, overcoming that. And that actually speaks volumes, because what better person that I know what are my weaknesses and I'm working on them too, so they're not my weaknesses anymore. They're gonna become my strengths. Um, that's basically, let's just make sure that you got when you applying any job, whether it's here T-Mobile or any other um, uh, company, you really focus on, where your strengths are, give specific examples, and then on your weaknesses or opportunities, you want to call them out, but also you want to call out what are you doing to resolve them. Next.
Yeah, and here at T-Mobile and most employers go by the STAR model when you're interviewing. So situation, task, action, result. So if you've interviewed, you've probably heard this before. Really important in setting the stage and telling the story when you are interviewing. Next slide, please. So it's important that you find a suitable example for the question that you're answering, though. The STAR model is not going to be helpful if you're not answering the right question. So you want to make sure that the example that you're giving is relevant to the question that you're being asked, and then expanding on it in the STAR model. So making sure that you're painting a clear picture. So it's all about storytelling. You want the person that is interviewing you to really feel like they were in that situation with you, that they were there that day or during the interview, they're there with you in the situation that you're describing, so that they really understand what your role is and what the result was. Next slide, please. So you want to make sure that you highlight the action or task. So after you created the scenario about the situation, where we see a lot of people do this or make this mistake is they'll give us a scenario about what it is that they did, but then they won't tie together what action they took that's relevant to the situation that they're trying to answer. And so you want to make sure the objective of what your role was in it and how you contributed to the situation, and make sure that it's tying back together to the question that you're being asked. Showcase your contribution to what it is that you highlighted. We get people interviewing sometimes that think a great example is them showcasing someone else and their action in the situation. Just because you're mentioning a relevant situation that doesn't involve your action taken to that, it won't really tie back together to the question. Next slide, please. And then results matter. Be proud and be prepared to share results. The more specific, the better. So if you have a specific result, like with a number or with a percentage that you want to talk about, if you're talking about dollar contributions or hiring numbers or whatever it is that you're talking about in your situation, you want to make sure that you tie it to a direct result. So if the action taken was that you contributed something monetarily, you want to have in the back of your mind, what that looks like. So do your research before you interview and go back to your performance history and highlight things that you're really proud of that you want to share and showcase. Your interviewers and employers love to hear what you have contributed so that it can showcase what you will contribute in the future to that company.
So closing the interview, right? You always want to end the interview on a positive note. I love to ask engaging questions that give me a little bit more feedback. You know, historically, we see interviews as kind of a one-way street, but I like to think it's a two-way street. At the same time that you want to show you're a great fit, you want to ensure that the company is a great fit with you. So that's your chance to ask um, great questions to really find out, again, if your values align. Um, I always like to end it with what questions do you have for me, us? Um, and that's the opportunity for you as the interviewer. You're trying to bring that up and again, ensure that those align. Make sure they're engaging questions. We don't want to ask a yes or no question, but we want to ensure that they're open-ended questions that are going to have the interviewer kind of elaborate and give you a lot more insight. It's always a great idea to ask, what do the next steps look like? In today's times, you might be interviewing for a job that has 100 or more people interviewing, so you could be interview number one. So it's great to know, hey, we have 99 more people that we need to interview. So it may be a week or two or three before we make decisions on the next step. But don't be afraid to ask for that timeline. Hey, Lacey, it was great interviewing you with you today. In a perfect world, what do the next steps look like? And do you have a timeline for when I can expect to hear back on how I did? Um, Ensure they know you want the job. I always like to end the interview on why I'm the best fit. So, hey, Lacey, it was great answering your questions today. Based off the questions that I asked and your answers, let me just go over one more time why I'm the best fit for this position and why you don't need to interview the other 99 people. I try to make it fun and engaging, right? And again, end with gratitude. Thank them for their time, thank them for their responses to your questions, and thank them for the opportunity. Whether you do that with a thank you note, an email, saying it after, or following up with them a week later or so to again show your gratitude. But that's always a great thing, is to show and end it on gratitude. Next slide. After the interview, so we talked about ending on with gratitude. So a thank you email always goes above and beyond. Again, if you are one of 100, one of 30, one of 40 people interviewing, you want to ensure that you're staying in the interviewer's top of mind. So by following it up with a thank you note, you ensure that they continue to think about you. Again, don't be afraid to follow up. If you don't hear anything a week back, in interviews I've done, I've always appreciated the people who followed up, because what does that tell me? You really want this job. Hey, it's been a week, didn't hear from you. Oh, you're still doing interviews? No problem. I'll follow up with you again in a week, just in case I don't hear from you. That might be a good opportunity to go over one more time why you're the best fit. Um, and what's going to happen when you do that follow up, right? They're either going to tell you that the process is still going. You might get that, hey, we were actually going to reach out to you. We wanted to let you know you got to the next interview, or that we selected you. Or they may just let you know you weren't selected for the job. That's okay. If you're notified via a phone call, that's a great opportunity to ask for feedback. Hey, oh man, I really wish I'd been able to get this position, but do you have any feedback for what I could improve so that the next time you open up a role, I can make myself more of a competitive candidate? And that's feedback is a gift. So that's a great opportunity to take that feedback and apply it. So hopefully when you apply with us again, something that I've always liked when interviewing someone for a second time was seeing them take the feedback that I gave and then implementing it in that second interview. That tells me that that person is coachable, and that should be an attribute that every hiring manager wants. Next slide, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chris. So what's next? We talked to you about the roles, interview tips. We want to stay connected. So we want to connect with all of you. The link that is provided in the webinar today is to our military landing page. And so you can click that to register for roles that you're interested in. Also, that will take you to our application site where you can search jobs and apply for them. And then on the next slide, we have all of our information for LinkedIn. We would love to connect with all of you. So please let us be your advocates. Let us help support you in this process. If you go onto our careers page and you find roles that you are interested in, please reach out to any four of us and let us know, if you have other questions about the role or if you applied. We will go back and do our due diligence in researching your application and the role and connecting you with the right people to see if it's going to be the right role and right fit for you or the company.
Wonderful. Thank you. That is all great info. That is just, where do I apply? And I have, I'm looking out here. Yeah, seriously, where do I apply? And this is, precisely one of the best highlights of my day. It's when I get to collaborate with partners like you guys that really, really, really mean it. They really are doing the talk, but also the walk. And we so appreciate you walking us through the start process, the interviewing, but also sharing all those tips, Chris, because that is incredible. Whether you're going to do it for T-Mobile or just in general for your personal growth, MilSpouse, it's a great insight that you just got here. You just attended basically a resume and interview prep session here in a short fast forward, but also have the opportunity to connect to incredible job opportunities. And once again, I want to call on you to please tell us where you're watching so that we can send you a shout out. We're going to take some moments right now to answer some questions, but also send shout outs to you and answer some questions that we also had from our spouse community that were posted yesterday for our members. And one of the questions that was very, very highly requested was, can I transfer my career or current role with me if I relocate? Who wants to take it?
Yes, I'll take that one.
Yes.
So yes, we
Sí.
can.
Now tell me in Spanish. Sí.
Sí. But we're proud to say, especially when it comes to military spouses, we understand that in your life, when your significant other has to PCS, historically, you've had to leave your career behind and start over. So we're really happy to say that we have a policy put into effect. If you are PCSed and you are outside of 50 miles of a location, as long as the job allows it. So if you work in a retail store, we probably can't support it there. But if you're in one of our back of the house roles, we will allow you to go remote and able to ensure that you're able to hold your career. And that's, again, to show our commitment to the military spouse community and overcome an obstacle that they've had to hurdle forever.
Yes, and in the retail space, though, too, what's really cool is that you don't have to step down from your current role to fit an opening to wherever you're transferring. So let's say you're an assistant manager or a mobile expert, retail store manager, and you PCS and you have to transfer to another store. You don't have to step down into a lower role and take a pay cut in order to transfer and keep your job. We will accommodate the headcount. We have a commitment from all of our senior leadership team on this and making sure that we're supporting the career transfers of our service members and military spouses.
Wonderful. So relocate, communicate, and stay, negotiate. There you go. Negotiate your future job as well. So here's
Laura,
one more question.
And I want to share really quick 2 huge wins that we've recently had in terms of location and career. So through Star Families, we actually just brought on our first military spouse fellow onto our team as onto human resources as a sourcer. She lives in Virginia, so she we accommodated where she was located because we knew she had skill sets that would be successful to a team. And then we're also very proud to announce that through an introduction through the AARP Blue Star Families event, we also are bringing on another military spouse that's located in a remote area of Alaska that's going to be brought on to the marketing team. So it is a testament to the Mobile's commitment to the military spouse community, regardless of location.
Wonderful. So that's great news. You hear, community, that is great news. It's the power of asking, connecting, but also following up. And so if you have heard or if you've seen some of the posts that we have done in the past couple of weeks, please follow up, make sure that you are tagging. And if for some reason we are a little behind to number up, continue to follow up and ask us, hey, where's my T-Mobile connection? I want to be Team Magenta, and we'll make sure that we flag our team here, plus other attorney who's also helping with the comments and behind the scenes, and connect you and get you going. And it may not be like fast and furious, but we certainly will get your name in the bucket list so that we can get to you as soon as possible. Now, I do want to ask another question that you mentioned. Congratulations, by the way, on your master's and your education. And this is also for some spouses. Sometimes our a new generation of male spouses, I consider myself the seasoned spouse, Andean veteran spouse, sort of life situations, but military spouses who are entering the workplace and want to have a little bit further up their education, will T-Mobile offer support to complete their education, his or her education?
Yeah, so we really have a couple of really cool programs for that. We have reimbursement and our tuition assistance programs. So depending on the designated university that or college that you apply to or want to finish your degree in, we'll either pay up to $5,250 a year or cover expenses 100% if it's one of our 9 preferred educational facilities that you can complete at. We also offer online opportunities. So like for me, I'm not going to campus for U of A, I'm doing online. But the experience has been just as great as decades ago when I went to college in person and got my bachelor's degree. But we do offer that. We also have internal programs through Cornerstone and Precipio, where let's say you're not looking to do a 4-year degree, but you want to get certified in something. We have PMP programs. We have other things that we have internally to help support that continued education as well.
Oh, stop it. Where do I apply? Okay, let's do one more. This is very important because we have a very, very diverse community at our spousal community and spouses. Although Spanish is primarily the largest community that we support as well, but we do have a lot of great military spouses who are trilingual or speak 4 or more languages. So what kind of career opportunities are available for military spouses with linguist skills?
Yeah, right off the bat. Oh, go ahead, Luis.
Well, I was just gonna say there is, the bilingual skills are across the company, right? So it's just be like any other skills that you will have. You have to just see what you're really looking for. I can tell you personally, I speak Spanish and I am a bilingual virtual retail coach. But I think it will be that's at a more broad roles. So I will encourage everyone that is interested to go into our careers website. And then if it's a bilingual role, it will say next to it, the bilingual role that is specified for that. I don't know if you need to add anything to it, Chris, but feel free to pitch in.
No, that was perfect.
I think one thing that I would add, though, is that what's really cool is that our customers are also bilingual or require communication in language other than English. And so I can't think of any job within T-Mobile that would not benefit from bilingual skill sets, because even if you're not in a customer-facing role, you're still in roles where, like, on our team, we engage with a lot of partnerships externally with different organizations. And so, there may be opportunity to be bilingual and bring those skill sets to the table there, working with different vendors, working with different resources other than just customer service.
Wonderful. Thank you. Gracias. Merci. So, and I will go on in all my multilingual skills, by the way. But I do want to take now this moment to obviously answer also send some shout outs and answer some questions. And if you see me switching here my head back and forth, it's because I'm looking at our sponsors live feed right now, community people. And so I want to send a shout out to Dulce Candy. Thank you for watching. Heather Martin, she's also looking for, she posted a question. I'm looking for remote work in the evenings when the kiddos go to bed. Can you guys share a little bit of what are some of those potential opportunities that would look like?
Yeah, so I guess it just depends on what time your kids go to bed.
Very true. Mine goes at midnight. So.
Yeah, but some of our retail stores are open later, so we have a lot of working parents that are going in like after dinner time and working 4 hours in the evening, so they can do that. We also are opening up a lot more remote roles within our customer experience centers over the next year that have different shifts. So I'm sure Luis can speak to the different shifts that we have at our CECs, but we are expanding in terms of that as well. So I don't know, Luis, if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, so actually some of our CECs are 24 hours. It will literally it will depends on, the CEC that you're looking into it, in the type of role, because we do, like I mentioned before, we do have the mobile experts, but we also have another great opportunity that is called virtual retail. So it's like if you actually go into the T-Mobile website and you start chatting, and that's not a robot. It's actually live person that you're talking to, T-Mobile employees, and that is 24 hours. So again, I will just encourage you to go into the career website, look for those opportunities, and that particularly that I'm talking about, it's called virtual retail slash care.
Virtual retail slash care. Perfect. Thank you. And I did posted a question, but we did answer that. So if you're multilingual, bilingual, trilingual, any bilingual skills, please go to T-Mobile and look for those roles. Now, if they're not there now, don't give up. Don't think like, oh my God, that's it. No, just complete a job alert. That is my favorite way for me to get alerted when jobs come through and they're posted. And then guess what? If you are career ready with your resume up to date, follow all the tips and tricks that Chris just shared with us, which we share those at our sponsors community, then you can just very easily go and be one of the early applicants. Reach out to Laura, reach out to Lacey, reach out to the Magenta team and say, hey, I applied for that role. Get me on and bring me on board. And then you will be on your way towards career readiness and career success. And by the way, I did share the link. So if you are in one of our communities, there's a link, there's a shorter link, of course, but if you look under the comments, it's a link for you to complete your profile just interest form. And so that you can actually get on the mailing and be able to successfully get those alerts. Now, I do want to ask some of it, and I know right now it's probably not doable, but any opportunities for remote overseas individuals can't take at the moment.
So
no pressure. We'll work. I'm just saying it out there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe, unfortunately, you do need to be based in the United States. This is something that has been brought to our senior leadership team's attention. So this could change at any time. But currently, we do ask that you reside within the United States.
Yeah, and really the reasons behind that are that, our parent company, Deutsche Telekom, is based overseas and there are opportunities there. But we're very particular about our safety and security of information, and that also contributes to just making sure that our roles currently are here. But like Chris said, there's always potential for growth in the future, but that's really our approach to it at this time.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes. And again, if I want to encourage the military spouses, we have just a couple more minutes. But, if you ask, if you tell us, then we will try to do our best to work behind the scenes. Sometimes it's not the company. Sometimes it's not. It's a much more legal situation behind the scenes between governments. But if we know that there's a need, then we can get to work and do our best to advocate on your behalf. And I want to just really briefly also put out here this question for you guys from Edwin. He's leaving and looking for a new career in the Houston area, but currently he's watching from Honolulu, Hawaii. So any best tips right now for Edwin so that he can go on and get into the career portal?
Yeah, I would say our talent community that you talked about is a great place to start, right? You can put on there what career opportunities you're looking for and what location, and when those opportunities open up, you'll be alerted. And then it really just depends on what you want to do. We have certain teams that are based in certain locations. Technology might be in one state, cybersecurity might be in another. So it's really about figuring out what it is you want to do, and do we have that team based there? Now, the great thing is you have our team, right? The Military and Diversity Recruiting team. So feel free. I know all of our LinkedIn should be out there. Please connect with us. Please reach out with any questions. We'd love to look into the area that you're looking for, or the specific job field that you're looking for, to see if there's an opportunity for you.
Yes. Yeah, and don't forget to say
that. I was just going to say,
sorry.
Houston, we are absolutely hiring Houston. So Houston has a ton of retail opportunities, both store-based and at our office in Frisco. And so we have operations roles that we're looking for there too. So Edwin, look at our career site, see if there's anything that you're interested in applying to, and let us know.
I was gonna kind of almost say what Lacey said. Depending on where you are, but hopefully if it's within retail world, You can start at a retail maybe in Honolulu, and then you can transfer, like we say, to maybe to the Houston area. Start getting your foot into the company. But feel free to reach out with any questions.
And don't let retail
Absolutely. And
scare you away. Quite a few of us have kind of talked
yes,
about how we started out on the retail side. Now, granted, if you have a master's in engineering, right? Yes, let's bring you in starting with an engineering role, right? But I started out on the retail side. Many of us did. One of the great things about T-Mobile is lots of company boast an open door policy. I like to think T-Mobile took that door off the hinges, and there is no door. It's just reach out to any team that you're interested in working with, build a connection. I asked for stretch assignments that I could work on with this team in order to become more aware of what they do and to get a little bit more experience. And that's going to help you build connections so that when roles open up, again, 90%, 90+% internal promotion rate. We love promoting from within. We love seeing people go from retail to HR to care. We highly encourage that. So don't let that, coming in retail, care, TFB, that's just a foot in the door so that you can build the connections you need to internally to get you into the career path you're looking for.
excellent. Thank you so much. And we're coming down to an end because time is money, and I want you guys to go and hire every single one of the individuals right here that will complete the inquiry in the form that says, tell me more about T-Mobile. But really briefly, I do want to take a couple of moments to highlight Heather Martin, of course, from our Spouse First community, as well as America del Rocio, she's a bilingual marketing executive, true fact, because I know I work with her a lot, and she's interested in applying for marketing roles with T-Mobile. So Leslie, I'm going to forward you her resume, no pressure, right? Leslie
Absolutely.
Aguilar Rivera, she's looking for a remote IT help desk role as well, and she's experienced and is bilingual as well. Priscilla Cecilio is also in the marketing, and she's also trilingual. She also works with us a lot. And Laura Tantrum, thank you so much for supporting as well. Everyone, so perfect. Thank you so much. There's more comments out there, but all shout outs for everyone. Any last words of wisdom as we wrap up and close and send you guys all back to the hiring board so that we can take care of our community members? I did ask you guys, I wanted to you to share and put you on the spotlight. If you can share one word that will describe your experience with T-Mobile, what would that be?
Oh,
Nope.
I'd say
Mine?
amazing.
Amazing. There you go. Ms. Lacey?
Exceptional.
That's Mr. Luis.
I would just say fun.
There you go. Fun, amazing, exceptional. All three. Plus, negotiate, and tell us, communicate. If you don't tell us what's out there, what are some of the roles that will fit more your lifestyle, then then we cannot advocate in commonly as a community project what are some of those business needs and best practices that can be for our community. And all together, we can definitely change that. Now, if for some reason it doesn't happen right away, just, bear there and continue to support, because this is all great opportunities for you for 2023 and beyond. And don't keep it to yourself. Like I always say, please pay it forward. Share with a military spouse who's looking for work. We all belong to different social networks. If you find someone who's looking for a job opportunity, who's looking for something now, just have them join our Spouse First community or share the link where they can apply, submit their information so that Team Magenta can reach out to them, and we can all get together and support our community members. So thank you so much for watching. Any last thoughts?
Yes, I just wanted to say, I talked about with the interview ending it on a positive note. I just want to remind everyone, this is the golden era for veterans and military spouse. Companies now more than ever are understanding of gaps in employment because you've been at home supporting the family while your spouse is serving our country, or they're investing time and energy and understanding the transferable skills from the military to the civilian world. So while it may be a tough job market, don't get down. Again, this is the golden era. Golden era. Companies see the values of that military spouse and veterans bring. So it's just really a matter of you finding that right fit. And also, don't be afraid to see if companies have teams like ours that are invested in helping veterans and military spouse come into the company and find long-term career opportunities.
And with that, we conclude this segment. Thank you so much. I did promise you it was going to be shorter, but with all the great comments and amazing questions and the shout outs, it has extended. But we so appreciate you taking the time and your busy day to come in and delight us and inform us all about the best way to break it into T-Mobile community. Thank you.
Thanks for
everybody.
having us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.